Hi, Casey Wilson here with Soqucoin Labs. This is going to be a presentation, short little tour of PQCAT, our flagship product. PQCAT is a post-quantum compliance assessment tool. And what you're looking at is the command deck, our professional edition. So every federal agency now has a legal deadline to inventory its cryptography, report it, and prove it migrated. This is PQCAT, and I'm going to show you what it does end to end in about less than 10 minutes. So what we're planning on doing is to find the issues, report them, and then price the fix, and then prove the fix. And then I'm going to try to forge its own evidence in front of you. All right, so one field, a host name, an IP, a CIDR range, or a path on disk. Host names run a deep TLS scan, pass audit detect, source code, SBOMs, containers, configs, firmware, you name it. No agents are needed to install this. Nothing's needed to deploy. We've got 11 scanner modules behind one box. It scores against CNSA 2.0, FedRAMP, FISMA, CMMC, PCI, and HIPAA, to name a few. There's more. So a score out of 100, the asset count, and the split: quantum vulnerable, transitional, quantum safe. And a harvest now, decrypt later multiplier, which is the commercial number. It says how much of this traffic is worth collecting today to read later. So we're going to go to our findings now, look at scan history. Every assessment is kept. Every asset is addressable, filterable by zone and algorithm. This is the layer most tools stop at. It is also the layer the federal rule does not accept on its own. Now, here's the asset inventory that we just scanned from github.com. So you can see that they're actually doing some good work here. They are aware of the issues, and they're starting to convert some of their cryptography modules to quantum safe modules. Good job, GitHub. Okay, now we're going to go to our compliance section. This is where we do our reporting. So this is the part that nobody else builds. And OMB Memo M-26-15 asks for 9 data items per system. M-26-15, that was just released recently by the White House, sets the deadlines, and we're already on the countdown. Score the index gives a cryptographic agility metric. The rule demands agility and never defines it. So we published a definition and an implementation. Reconcile compares this year's inventory against what the agency filed last year and says which growth is a bigger estate and which is a better inventory. propose the split, works out which cryptography is the agents to migrate and which belongs to their cloud provider. It's an important issue that's not resolved. And draft a plan, writes the migration plan itself, all 9 required contents from M-26-15 Appendix B. Now we're going to go to compliance, our confidential compliance engine evidence section. So 4 of the 9 data items cannot be discovered by any scanner. A FISMA identifier, an impact level, an HVA designation, high value assets, a hosting model. They live in EMAS or some other federal system, not in the infrastructure. So we have a bind function that imports them from the agency's own system of record and marks every single cell with how it got its value, discovered, imported, or asserted by a named person. Then it seals the whole table into one portable file. It's signed with MLDSA 44. That's the dilithium standard, FIPS 204. And post-quantum evidence about a post-quantum migration. Just makes sense. And then we also have a harvest clock here too. And a confidential mode that salts every asset identity at scan time. Now we're in our ATO Compliance section. ATO control statements mapped to NIST 853. POEM items generated from findings with the language an assessor expects. These are the 2 documents that decide whether a system is allowed to operate or not. Now we're in our POEM tracker. Now we're going to go to our findings and a remediation section, because that's not the end of it. So every finding rolls up into a playbook with the exact configuration change for your platform. Prove a fix takes the assessment from before the work and the one from after, and binds them into a single assigned transaction. The finding closes when the transaction verifies. If the fix did not happen, the proof cannot be built at all. There is no override. And check a transition is the other side. Whoever receives one can actually verify it with no account, no network, and nothing from us. Now we're going to go to our analysis section. And let's take a look at the migration simulator. So we have phases a week-by-week timeline, engineer effort, peak staffing, a projected score curve. Those are the numbers that go into a funding request. Today, a contractor estimates them pretty much by spreadsheets. That's a nightmare. Okay, now we're going to go to our reports. So you can see we have a CM export function, supply chain, and export reports function. So executive briefings, auditor PDFs, Cyclone DX CBOMs for supply chain, and CM events for continuous monitoring. Got them all. 3 editions, Enclave for classified networks, where pretty much nothing listens, air-gapped systems, classified environments, SCIFs. Pro is with a dashboard and a REST API, and Cloud for CSPs. All right, so that was a quick tour of our command deck. There's a lot more to go over that we have not touched here, but I want to keep this session fairly short. We're already close to 10 minutes. So my next tour is not in the command deck. We're going to go over to our verify system, and I'll show you what we could do here. So everything I've shown you so far runs in our dashboard or in our command line interface. You should not have to trust our dashboard. So this is a separate page. You can see we're at localhost 8700. It runs entirely in the browser. Right now I'm running on Chrome. No network, no account, nothing of ours. And I'm going to drag over a real sealed assessment now, okay? So stand by. So you can see our verification is happening. And that assessment, it was verified. So the coin carries the evidence, your device recomputes the fingerprint, the score is bound to the findings, and the seal is quantum safe. So it basically rederives the whole verdict from raw findings and checks it against the seal. In this case, it's green. So now let me be a little bit more, let me pretend to be a dishonest vendor. I have taken the same file and I have made some edits to the score to make a failing target look like a pass. So let me drag that over real quick. Oh, let's verify another. Give me a sec here, I lost my screen. There we go. Okay, here's the forged. Interesting. So this page has never seen the original. There is nothing to compare it against. So it's refused, it's failed closed, and it names the exact stage that failed. That is the difference between a report and evidence. Now I'm going to take you to the engine room real quick to see what happens under the hood. And I'm going to go ahead and bring over that the good assessment, sealed assessment, and you can watch it exhibit and go through the fold and the comparison. And there you go. Excellent. And let's try the bad one just for fun. Not the bad one, the forged one. Look at that. Outstanding. Okay, now we're going to go dive a little bit deeper into the rabbit hole. Okay, now I have in front of you command line interface. You can see I've been having fun with it. So on this terminal, everything from here runs on the auditor's own machine. No call home, no license server, no account. So we're going to pretend that this command line interface is the auditor's interface. So this is a real sealed assessment checked by a signed binary, and the auditor runs themselves. It's air gapped in a SCIF if they want. 5 stages. It opens the evidence, rebuilds the fingerprint, recomputes the score from raw findings, checks the post-quantum seal, and checks the signer against the PIN key. So you can see here. Now a forgery. Real findings, a better score written on top, signed with our own genuine key. So you can see it's refused at stage 3. The score does not follow from the evidence. So that is a compliance tool that will not endorse its own vendor's arithmetic. I don't know of any other product that does that. Okay, and this one was not edited at all. It was minted from scratch off doctored findings. Internally, it's flawless, but it's refused at stage 5. Got a wrong identity. Anyone can mint a coin, only one is pinned. Now, something different here. Right over here, I have a Raspberry Pi on my network, and I'm reaching into its boot firmware. I lovingly call it Pinode. So read-only acquisition below the operating system where almost nobody scans. It carries the keys that decide what the board is allowed to boot. RSA 2048 and ECDSA P256, both quantum vulnerable, sitting in silicon. All right, check this out. Quantum X-ray. Same ceremony as the coin against hardware. And read stage 1. The attestation carries 0 firmware bytes. 578 bytes against a 2 megabyte chip. It is not checking my copy of anything. It rereads the device. This is the one thing that cannot live in a dashboard. Verifying means being pretty much at the hardware. Check this out. So 1 flipped bit out of 16.8 million on that board. Fails closed, network, cloud, and silicon. Same evidence model all the way down the rabbit hole. So that's the quick loop that we went through. Looks like we hit probably a little more than 15 minutes, maybe more. That's what I was kind of aiming for anyways. So what we did is we found it, we reported it, we priced the fix, we proved the fix. At least we showed we could do all that. And every claim along the way is something the person receiving it can check themselves, especially an auditor in a SCIF environment. They could do it. So shipping today, 3 editions, runs air-gapped, 19 patent filings, 12 in this flagship product. Very impressive. We've been working hard on this. What it does not have yet, though, is a route to agencies that need it. That is a distribution gap, not a product gap. We have an awesome team. We have an awesome product. Everything is at PQCAT.io, and the verify page is also available there, so anyone could use that to learn more. Again, thanks for your time. Look forward to talking with you. If you're interested, get a hold of me. I'd love to talk to you about it. Thanks again.